The private parlor felt smaller than usual. The air was thick with the scent of beeswax and the faint ozonic hum of the mana crystal chess pieces. Across the obsidian table, Elara looked perfectly at home, but her eyes never left mine. "First," Elara said, her voice smooth and cold, "we establish the laws of the game." I leaned back, resting my hands on the edge of the table. Laws? If one of us wins, the loser must do whatever the winner wants. No exceptions, she stated. However, if the game ends in a draw, there is no winner. No commands are given. I let out a short, dry laugh. A draw? You realize that in professional play, more than 60% of games end in a stalemate? Ilara's lips curved into a small, confident smile. And so? I have never played a game that ended in a draw. I have always won. Your statistics are irrelevant to me, unless you are so confident in your chance of forced failure. She was baiting me. She wanted me to feel inferior before the first move was even made. I accept your laws, I said firmly. Excellent. Sebastian will be our witness and arbitrator. We play a single match. I looked at Sebastian, who stood like a statue in the shadows. He nodded once, a look of profound unease on his face. Elara didn't wait. She reached out and moved her first pawn with practiced grace. Click. The white quartz piece hit the obsidian with a sharp, resonant sound. It's now or never, I thought. Back on Earth, I wasn't a grandmaster, but I was a professional. I knew the theory, I knew the traps, and right now I was playing for my life. No, my life had been in danger since the moment I woke up in this world. This was play for my freedom. We traded moves in silence for several minutes. The only sound was the rhythmic tapping of crystal on stone. I am surprised, Elara said, breaking the silence. She looked down at the board, her brow twitching. I didn't expect this level of play, Aric. You are forcing me to defend. I slid my bishop across the board, the black onyx glowing with a dark inner fire. Check, I said calmly. Ilara's eyes widened slightly. The first check, impressive. I intend to win, Lady Everhart, I replied. She made her move, her eyes scanning the board with predatory speed. Why do you insist on this, Aric? Only a few months ago, you were begging me not to leave on my missions. You hated being alone, and yet, the moment I return, you demand a divorce. I moved my queen, putting more pressure on her king. I was a fool back then, I said, looking her directly in the eyes. During your absence, I woke up. I am 30 years old now. It's time I found my own path. You are 26, Elara. Life is far too short to waste it on a ghost. She paused, her hand hovering over a knight. You mean to tell me that in 6 months of my absence, you decided to change every one of your habits and move forward? I haven't changed my habits, I lied, sliding my black knight into her territory. I've simply refined my objectives. Elara stared at the board, then at me. Stop. I am shocked that you haven't touched a single drop of alcohol tonight. Not at the prince's ball, not at the family gathering. Even the servants whisper that it has been 4 months since you tasted wine. I leaned forward, the candlelight highlighting the sharp angles of my face. You make a lot of noise over a simple beverage. Perhaps you should focus more on your game. Check, she countered, her voice dropping to a whisper. Even your words have changed. Before, you called me Elara, my wife, my dear. Now, it is always Lady Everhart. And you? I asked, my voice equally cold. Before, I was only Lord Valorian. Now you use my name. Why the sudden interest? I always used it, she replied, her eyes flashing violet. You were simply too drunk to notice. I looked at the board. I was in check, but it was a shallow attack. She was good. Her level was equal to the highest difficulty settings I had encountered on Earth, but my training was professional. I saw her opening. I told you before, everything you did was right. Not calling me by my name, not telling me about your missions, leaving me alone. I am not your real husband. This is a political arrangement, nothing more. Ilara's expression shifted. For the first time, I saw a crack in her armor. She was cornered. I'm sorry, Lady Everhart, I said, a faint smile appearing, but I am going to win this game. Elara smiled back, a dangerous, beautiful look. In your dreams, Aric. She went silent, her eyes darting across the board. Sebastian stood in the corner, his jaw literally dropping. For 10 years, he had watched Elara dominate every mind in the kingdom. Now he was watching a mana null push the most powerful mage to her limits. I watched her think. She wasn't stressed. To my surprise, she actually looked like she was actually enjoying herself. You're being reckless, she noted, moving a piece. Don't worry about me, I said, sliding my piece home. Worry about your king. The game reached its boiling point. Elara spent a long time reflecting on each move, her eyes scanning every possible outcome. But every time she made a move, I responded instantly. My hands moved like a machine, guided by decades of Earth's chess theory. I could see her frustration growing, but I didn't stop. I'm sorry, my lady, I said with a confident smirk, but your entire strategy is open to me now. I know every move you're going to make. Elara stared at the board, her silver hair shimmering in the candlelight. Sebastian, standing in the corner, was shocked once again. He wasn't just surprised by my skill, but by Elara herself. For the first time in years, the Ice Queen was gone. She wasn't cold. She was having fun. She was actually enjoying the struggle. You're being quite reckless with your pieces, aren't you? Elara noted, finally making a move. Don't worry about me, I replied, moving my piece immediately. Just stay focused on your own board. Internally, I was already celebrating. It's over, I thought. Once I win this, I'm leaving. I'll head west toward the Elven Kingdom. I've already decided my next step. No more arrogant princes, no more suicide missions for a family that hates me. Just freedom. I looked at her. You're having a difficult time, my lady, I said, sliding another piece forward. Elara smiled, a real, genuine smile. Yes, I believe this is a first for me. I was confused. She's not stressed? She's enjoying this? I looked at the board. The end game was here. It's over now, I announced. Either I win in 3 moves or it's a forced draw. There is no other way out for you. I reached for my final piece to deliver the finishing blow. It was a lovely game, my lady. Sebastian leaned in, his eyes wide. I was dominating the board, but just as my fingers touched the crystal piece, something hit my foot under the table. Thump. A sharp kick to my shin. I gasped, startled, and looked up at Elara. The Ice Queen was gone. In her place, Elara was pouting. Her cheeks were puffed out, her lips curled in a cute, stubborn expression, like a character straight out of an anime. I was paralyzed. I tried to move my piece to the winning square, but she kept that adorable, stubborn face fixed on me. My logic faltered. I moved the piece back toward the draw position, and her face immediately shifted back to the cold Ice Queen mask. I moved it back to the winning square. She pouted again. I moved it back to the draw. She became the Ice Queen. What? What are you doing? I stammered. She said nothing, maintaining that cute, ridiculous face. I looked at her, then at my hand, then at her again. I never expected a grand mage, the most feared woman in the kingdom, to use a cute face to win a chess match. Fine, I muttered, rubbing my head. Let's just end this. But before I could even make my choice, Ilara's eyes flickered with a faint violet light. Clink! A small gust of magical wind hit my piece. It tipped over and slid across the obsidian table, landing exactly on the square that triggered a stalemate. A perfect draw. "Ha!" I shouted. "Wait! I won! That was magic! We both saw that!" I turned to Sebastian. "Sebastian, you're the arbitrator. You saw her move my piece with magic." Sebastian looked at Elara. She was smiling at him, a soft, warm smile that he hadn't seen since she was a little girl playing with her grandfather. Sebastian cleared his throat, his loyalty shifting in a heartbeat. "My apologies, my Lord Aric, but this game is a draw. There is no winner." "What? Sebastian!" Elara leaned back, looking triumphant. "It's over. Our arbitrator has spoken. A draw. No winner, no loser." I slumped in my chair. No, another opportunity wasted. Elara saw my disappointment on my face. "Aric," she started, her voice soft. I stood up abruptly. "I see. I lost the war even if I won the game." I turned to leave. "Aric," she called out. I stopped and looked back. "I had a good time. Let's do this again soon." I didn't answer. I walked straight to my chambers and slammed the door. "Damn it," I hissed, punching the stone wall. I had her. I had the win. I remembered her pouting face and felt my face heating up. She's dangerous, I thought. I didn't expect a grand mage to play like that. She knew exactly what she was doing. She was prepared for everything, while I was just focused on the pieces. I sat at my desk, a small smile finally breaking through my frustration. Well, at least I saw something no one else has ever seen. I suppose I'm the fool after all. I shook my head, my eyes turning cold again. No more distractions. I had to focus on the mission. Tomorrow, I would visit my friend Doaf. I needed to see if he had finished my new equipment. If I was going to survive the sacrifice, I needed more than just logic. I needed a weapon that could change the world.